24 of Storytime with Robert Williams. Spider-Man, A Strange Night. Spider-Man had been called many things: amazing, spectacular, and sensational. But today, no matter how hard Peter Parker tried, he wasn't feeling amazing, spectacular, or sensational. Today, Spider-Man was very, very sleepy. For the last week, Peter wasn't sleeping through the night. His dreams were troubling, silly, and sometimes downright spooky. A week of nightmares makes for one sleepy crime fighter. Peter didn't think much of it until one very long spider yawn almost allowed Shocker to ruin the policeman's ball. Spider-Man groggily swung into action. He webbed Shocker's gauntlets before knocking the vibrating villain to the floor with a well-timed kick. But J. Jonah Jameson, the boss of the Daily Beagle newspaper, was not impressed. "Look, not only is Spider-Man a menace, that he was sleeping on the job," he shouted from his table as Spidey swung away. Spider-Man knew he needed help to solve his sleepy problem. He needed to see a specialist, someone who was a true expert on dreams and the human mind, and he knew just the doctor to call. "Dr. Strange," Peter said, greeting his old friend. "I'm sorry to interrupt, but I've been having trouble sleeping," Dr. Strange said as Spider-Man entered the sanctum. He had felt Peter's troubles long before Spider-Man had come to his doorstep. Doctor Strange threw his arms wide as he conjured the magical eye of Agamotto. Agamotto has shown me that you've been experiencing nightmares, Strange told Peter, and now it will show those nightmares. Soon, Doctor Strange was looking at Spider-Man's nightmares. In some, he was back in primary school and forgot to wear his trousers. In others, the Sinister Six were winning every battle against him. Doctor Strange was not only able to see the future and the past, but he could also see right into a person's soul. Your sleep is interrupted by supernatural, and your dreams are being invaded by the most dastardly of nocturnal threats. Your mind is plagued by the villainous nightmare himself, Strange shouted. With a snap of his fingers, Strange placed Peter into a deep trance. Then, with the help of the eye Agamotto, he dived straight into Peter's dreams. Peter once again found himself in front of his entire class without his trousers on, and though he was embarrassed, he was no longer alone. Doctor Strange stood tall beside him, urging him to see the nightmare for what it truly was. "The dream is yours to control," Strange told Peter. Peter concentrated and the class vanished. They were replaced by a master of Bad Dreams Nightmare and his trusty steed, Dreamstalker. "The Sorcerer Supreme commands you to reach the hold of this hero," Strange shouted, but Nightmare simply laughed. "I take powers from dreams, Doctor Strange," Nightmare began, "and with a hero as strong as Spider-Man, I'll finally be great enough to defeat you." As Doctor Strange and Nightmare launched into combat, Peter knew he had to help the Sorcerer Supreme, and he realized he knew how just to do it. By using the power of imagination, Peter fought and fought as hard as he could. To his amazement, the dream around him began to change. They weren't in Peter's school anymore, but on a giant chessboard, and Spider-Man was in control of the pieces. "It would seem Spider-Man is using the power of his own dreams against you," Doctor Strange declared to Nightmare. Spidey played move after move, defeating Nightmare's pieces until the villain was the only one left to play. Outnumbered, the villain retreated, leaving Peter's mind. "You might have won today, Strange, but you've not seen the last of me," Nightmare shouted as he rode Dreamstalker out of Peter's mind back to the home in the Shadow Realm. "Don't worry, Nightmare, I look forward to defeating you again," Doctor Strange smiled. Peter woke with a start, pleased to find the good doctor waiting with a hot cup of coffee. "This is Wong's special herbal blend," Doctor Strange said. "It should calm your mind after a night like this." After saying goodbye to his old friend, The tired hero swung home, changed into his pajamas, and slipped under the sheets. There was no monsters under the bed, and the only thing in his wardrobe were just clothes and his spider suits. So for the first time in like weeks, Peter Parker finally got what he had been longing for, an amazing night's sleep.